Alright, so let's just take a look at the time chart. Okay, so we'll come back to you. It's a lot happened here. You know, while we're at it, I guess now that we've fixed this, let's go back to Achi's timeline here. Just then, a bit of light shone into the alleyway from above. It looked like someone on the adjacent building's upper floor had turned on the lights. The light illuminated Tomi's face. Yeah, we saw this already. Hey. So I guess if you had fought with a cockroach, you'd have hit it out of the window or something. Understand. You gave me a reason why I have to help you out. One of those whatchamacallits. I need to stick with you. Yeah, I'll take a drink while we're skipping through this. Okay, here's where we notice the bug. Beautiful. Hitomi is no longer dead. Sneaking out from the alley, Achi and Hitomi began to make their way along the side streets back toward Togenzaka. It was a pretty big detour compared to taking the main thoroughfares, but that would be worth it if it meant they avoided the man with the cane. Achi looked over at Hitomi, and she walked along beside him. Her face was solemn. He could feel the intensity of her worry for her sister. Oh, well, look who's got himself a little cutie. The sudden call startled him. He spun around. Yo, mean clean, over here. Achi spotted a young man up ahead, sneering at him. At his side were two others. Achi recognized the lot. SOS. Hitomi let out a nervous squeak. Achi? Don't worry about them. He led her onward, attempting to stride right past the trio. Whoa, hey now, you're just gonna ignore me? That's pretty damn rude, especially coming from someone who used to be an old buddy. Three toughs moved to bar Achi's path. Ah, she is hella fine. Come on, ain't you gonna introduce us? Hella fine, extremely attractive. The etymology of hella is somewhat unclear, but its meaning is undisputed. Very, a lot of, totally, and like. Potential synonyms for hella fine include mighty fine, fine as hell, and bangin'. Amazing. Sorry, man, Achi said. I'm in a bit of a hurry here. He gave them a tepid smile. A big hurry, huh? Where to? Some love hotel in Maruyamacho? Too rich, another chimed in. She's dreamer, Achi. A screamer, excuse me. I'm too much on Twitch. Achi. Take a stereotypical way to poke fun at a would-be amorous couple. Now take Achi's name. There you go. Why are they doing this? They burst out howling like a gang of monkeys. One of them cackled like a grinning idiot. Achi, Achi. Gee. Achi felt his anger boil. These guys are in sore need of a major ass kicking, but there was too much at stake. He was just gonna have to suck it up and ignore them for the time being. This is probably gonna get us a bad ending, but I really want to beat them up. These guys were in sore need of a major ass kicking, and Achi stepped up to the ringleader. Ooh! Ooh, one punch! Tough dropped down to the ground with a dull thud. Oh, sorry, that was terribly rude of me. Achi kept his tone light and jovial, but he eyed the others like a hawk eyeing its prey. Is he gonna be alright? Hitomi murmured. She looked at the man Achi had laid out with some concern. I'll be fine. If that's all it took to knock him out, he's got no right to act all badass. Achi, huh? I don't believe I've had the pleasure. A taller man with an angry gleam in his eyes had appeared atop the steps nearby. He must have turned up during the commotion. He radiated a distinct aura of menace. That's me, Achi replied. And just who are you? For once, it was someone he didn't recognize. The name's Yoji Kiryu. He used to roll with a gang from Ikebukuro until a few months ago. Known as the Killer Whale of Bukuro, he answered any and all resistance with his fists. His crazy antics led him to being kicked out of the gang, however, and he's lately been hanging around Shibuya. I joined up with SOS after you left. Now I'm Susumu's number 2 guy. The newcomer stared at Achi's face, sizing him up. Our legendary founder. I've heard so much about you. The founder. It had been a long time since anyone called him that. There'd been a bunch of arguing over who would take charge of the new group that was forming to set things straight in Shibuya. At some point, folks had started hailing him as the force behind SOS. But founder? That was something his buddies had called. Just something his buddies had called him. He never paid it much heed. Shibuya was a place for fun, not hierarchies. At least in Achi's mind, that was how it ought to be. Like how you busted up some mean old drug dealers, rescued your pals from Yakuza bondage. Here, bondage is used strictly in the sense of captivity. Any other types of Yakuza bondage will not be featured in this game. Sorry if the tip link here got your hopes up. No, I'm very happy that I'm not going to get kicked off of Twitch for this. You're a real hero. Kiryu's tongue flickered from his mouth like a snake's. Hitomi shuddered. Achi couldn't blame her for being creeped out. But that's all in the past now, isn't it? Kiryu continued. You went modestly on your way. It's up to us now. And we've helped SOS grow by leaps and bounds to help carry on your legacy, no matter who stands in our way. The thought didn't sit right with Achi. If aggressive expansion was the name of the gang was losing touch with its roots. It wasn't about keeping Shibuya safe and fun anymore. Make SOS bigger, huh? He said. I'm guessing that was Susumu's call as well? Kiryu didn't answer his question. His mouth merely twisted into a knowing sneer. In any event, I think these boys here need a little lesson in manners. The guillotine ought to do the trick. A capital punishment device invented in the 18th century France. The condemned is executed by decapitation by means of a heavy blade descended from above. Named for physician Joseph Ignace Guillotine, who advocated its use to the National Assembly. Both King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette were executed by guillotine. Thank you for the history lesson. The other gang members started in alarm. Whoa, hey, calm down, man. Please, anything but the guillotine. Kiryu pointedly ignored their pleas. Whoa, hey, what's the guillotine? Achi asked. Kiryu smirked. The guillotine is the guillotine. With me, worms. Without a glance back, Kiryu strolled away. His 2 underlings followed him unhappily. Achi wondered what lay in store for them, but right now he had more important things to worry about. Come on, let's go. He took Hitomi by the hand and they were back on their way. Was that the correct thing to do? Okay. Oh, Hitomi perked up. That's me. She reached into her pocket and took out her cell phone. Huh? She stared at the screen with consternation. What is it? Achi asked. It's an email from Mr. Tanaka. Who's Mr. Tanaka? He works with my father. I'm not sure what I should do. Achi remembered that the criminal had warned her against contacting her family or the police. She seemed reluctant to even open this message. I'm sure it's fine to just read an email, he said. And besides, he's not the police and he's not your family. Yeah, you're right. Hitomi scanned the message anxiously. It sounds like he's worried about me, she said. Then does he know about the kidnapping? Yeah, I know my father trusts him. And he's always been so... Hitomi cut herself short. Still, it was clear to Achi that she and this Tanaka person had some sort of close relationship. I wonder if it's safe for me to let him know what the situation is. I think it should be, Achi told her. I mean, the kidnappers aren't going to know you sent an email, right? unless he's working with them. Hitomi began typing out a response. Achi watched over her, wild speculations running through his mind. There was no way a mild-mannered young lady like her could be dating one of her father's co-workers, was there? Oh, this is a jump point to Osawa. Okay, well, this might not end well then. Unless she was all about finding herself a sugar daddy? No, he was being ridiculous. Hachi banished the thought from his mind. Besides, Hitomi's personal life wasn't the problem right now. The problem was at the psycho with the cane and the gun. Is something wrong? Hitomi asked. She had finished sending her email. Oh, no, nothing at all. Nothing at all? Hachi did his best to look nonchalant. It was a good thing she couldn't read his mind. They exited Center Guy and resumed their approach towards Dogonzaka by way of Maruyamacho. There are many hotels in Maruyamacho. These are not ordinary establishments, but the sort of hotel where two people who are so inclined might, redacted, a couple heading to this kind of place in the early afternoon would without a doubt be assumed to be bent on redacted. You might be wondering whether an option for these two to get up to their mischief will appear as a selection prompt. Well, don't get your hopes up. This isn't that kind of game. I appreciate that this is the second time that they've done this in like 5 minutes. Another long detour to increase their odds of running into the gunman. They made an unlikely pair. You can definitely tell that this is like, you know, written by the Danganronpa type people. They made an unlikely pair. Scruffy Achi, limbs lackadaisically swinging to hide his embarrassment, and brisk, purposeful Hitomi. Achi found himself watching her out of the corner of his eye. He could still feel her anxiety. He wished there was some way he could ease her fears. Hey, Hitomi, mind if I ask you something? Huh? Sure, go ahead. Okay, so like, I realize this might be kind of a weird question, but... He put on a serious face. What does that eco and eco-friendly mean? Huh? Like, I know it's about helping the earth and all, but I don't know what it really means, you know? Hitomi thought for a moment. I'm pretty sure it's just short for the English word ecology, which is the science of examining the relationship between man and nature. A subset of biology that deals with the reciprocal relationship between organisms and their environment. Nowadays, the term can also refer to cultural and social effects on the global environment. The latter usage can be broad and imprecise, making exact meanings somewhat difficult to define. Oh, right, science. Pleased with himself, Achi chattered on excitedly. A faint smile crept back onto Hitomi's face. Say, you ever hear about the clean river here in Shibuya? A clean river? In Shibuya? Really? Ask 100 youngsters outside of Shibuya Station the same question, you'd probably get that same answer 100 times. Yeah, the Shibuya River. You know, that drainage channel we saw earlier. Wait, that's the clean river you're talking about? By no reasonable definition was the Shibuya River what anyone would call clean. That's the one, Achi grinned in confusion. See, the river used to be clean a long time ago. I read about it in an old book called Science Strikes Back. A popular monthly magazine abbreviated as SSB. Super Smash Brothers? The series has been running for 29 years now, but the Strike Back appendix is still immensely popular with children. The woman who handles the home deliveries is known as the SSB lady, and children wait excitedly on the 25th of each month for her to make her rounds. It's interesting. I used to have that book, Hitomi chirped, her eyes wide with excitement. You're talking about the bit with the river that got turned into a song, right? The famous 1912 song Haru no Ogawa, Springbrook, with lyrics by Tatsuyuki Takano and music by Teiichi Okano. It's said that the song was inspired by a view of the upper course of the Shibuya River during Takano's childhood. In the modern day, there is a stone monument bearing the song's lyrics along the Odakyu line between Yoyogi Hachiman and Sangubashi. Yeah, that's the one. You read it too? I did. Achi felt a giddy rush at this unexpected connection they shared. Imagine if there was still a clean, beautiful river here in Shibuya. It'd be a perfect place for taking a romantic stroll. Hitomi looked up at Achi. She seemed to share his joy in this idea. Wouldn't it be amazing? Achi said, if that dirty little channel could be clean like it used to be. It would. Maybe as amazing as the look on Hitomi's face right now, Achi thought. Hitomi, tell me some more ecology stuff. Hit me with whatever you got. She seemed happy to oblige, and so as they walked along, Hitomi explained the bits of knowledge she'd picked up over the years. Achi was quiet, hanging on to her every word. That's nice. The return to Dogenzaka became an impromptu environmentalism lecture. Hitomi continued until she'd exhausted her ready knowledge. I just don't get it, Achi grumbled when she paused at last. I mean, why is it a bad thing if the planet gets warmer? Wouldn't that make winter in places like Hokkaido way easier? No, you see, because if the whole planet gets warmer, it'll cause the whole ecosystem to collapse. Achi racked his brain. And the ecosystem is what again? Is that like the solar system? Images of the cosmos filled his imagination. No, not really, Hitomi said. So it's more like a sound system then? Not really. Oh, but anyway, you're saying the problem is with the, what was it again? Carbon dioxide? Yeah, that stuff. I'm gonna have to cut down on that. Sure. That settles it, Achi declared proudly. No more soda for me! Soda? Hitomi asked. Yeah, it's carbonated, right? Hitomi burst out laughing. What? I'm serious, you don't think I could do it? I'm sorry, Hitomi said, catching her breath. It's just... Her face froze, her mirth abruptly vanishing. Oh no. Huh? Achi stared at her face in alarm. What is it? Oh god. He turned his attention in the direction Hitomi was looking. The man with the cane was bearing down on them. Oh come on, you have got to be kidding me! He grabbed Hitomi's hand and ran. This time he headed for the main road, hoping to get lost in the crowd. Hitomi struggled to keep up. She was exhausted after all their earlier running. You can do it, he told her. The guy's got a cane. We can outrun him. The assassin was still hurrying after them. Once we get around the next corner, we'll be out on the main road. Yeah, okay. She strained to get the words out. Bit by bit, her feet were slowing down. It was another 50 meters or so to the main road. Achi realized they might get caught before they got there. Sorry, Hitomi, he exclaimed, but I gotta do this. He scooped her up in his arms. Ah! By the time the squeak had escaped her mouth, Achi was already running full out. Achi, please pull me down. Don't worry, you're super light. Achi glanced back and saw the assassin, now far behind, break off his pursuit. But just as they rounded the corner, he heard the man call out to him. Achi almost stopped on reflex. Hold on, did he just shout my name? How the heck does he know my name? Quaking with unease, Achi slipped out into the crowd. Is the guy not after Hitomi? Achi, could you please set me down now? A meek voice pulled him from his panic. Huh? He looked down at the girl in his arms. People in the crowd all around them were watching and chuckling. I mean, I'm really happy you saved me and all, but being carried around like this is, Hitomi was blushing beet red, but Achi's expression had gone pale. Achi, wait! Had he really heard that right? That's what it sounded like. He set Hitomi back on her feet, then used his shirt sleeve to wipe the sweat from his face. You okay, Hitomi? You okay? Hitomi asked. When we were running just now, did that guy say anything? Not that I heard, no. Huh. Had he just imagined it then? Maybe. Achi was sure he didn't recognize the man. There's something weird about that guy, though, Hitomi murmured. She furrowed her brow. No matter where we run, he keeps catching up to us. It's almost like he's tracking your stinking phone. It's almost like he knows where we're going. She was right. Finding a particular pair of people in a place as big as Shibuya bordered on the impossible. And yet somehow the assassin had tracked them down several times now. Yeah, Achi said. It's like he got some way of locating us or something. Got a sudden idea. That's it. What if they're doing the whole tracking thing, but like backward? What? Hitomi's eyes widened. Okay, so you know how in the police shows they always stick a tracking device in the bag with the ransom money? Like that, but backward. Tracking device. Okay, so backward isn't the right way to describe this, but Achi doesn't realize that. He does seem to know what a tracking device is, at least. Yikes. Just going straight for him. Okay. A radio transmitter that can be located by the signal it emits. The Japanese police sometimes refer to this as a beeper, not to be confused with the English slang term beeper, meaning a pager. Backward? Yeah, like instead of putting the tracker on the money, they put it on you. Hitomi frowned. I don't see how I could possibly have a tracker on me. I mean, I'm just wearing my clothes from home. Oh, huh. Well then, how is he doing it then? Barely a moment passed from the moment he got the words out of his mouth. Once again, the man with the cane stepped down the road ahead of them. It really did seem as if he knew exactly where they were going to be. How the hell is this happening? Achi groaned. He reached for Hitomi's waist, ready to pick her up again. It's okay, I can run by myself. Achi took her by the hand instead, and they raced into another alley. This poor guy on the cane, though, just limping around the whole town. This guy just will not give up. At the far end of the alley, you could see a forklift parked beside a pile of cardboard boxes. Achi decided to throw the boxes at him or hop into the forklift and drive it at the assassin. Oh my gosh, what should I choose? I mean, I feel like if they throw the boxes at him, he might get a shot off. But if we drive the forklift at the guy, he'll just definitely have a shot off on us. Might at least confuse him with the boxes. It's not like he can jump them if he's got a cane going. Let's try the boxes. Ah! Achi snatched up the nearest box, turned and threw it at the man with the cane. The box was filled with something heavy. This ought to do some damage. He watched with satisfaction as it struck the assassin in the face. The man staggered sideways. Here, have another! I really hope this is the burning hammer boxes. One by one, Achi hurled every box in the pile. It's not, but it would be funny. And one for the road! The last box wasn't properly sealed. It broke open as it struck the pursuer, sending several baubles flying. Oh, please. Please! They shouted as they crashed onto the street, splashing red liquid. It is! That totally is, right? Maybe. We'll see. The assassin dropped to one knee, scrubbing at his face with his hand. Achi looked on in surprise. He couldn't possibly have hit the guy that hard. Peering at the man more closely, he saw that he was splattered in red liquid. Apparently the stuff in the bottles had gotten in his eyes. Now's our chance! Achi took off with Hitomi, leaving their pursuer kneeling in the alley. That had to have been the burning hammer. The ragged breathing echoed through the maze of side streets. All that work just to wind up fleeing for their lives again. Achi ground his teeth in frustration. Ground his teeth. There are two main types of teeth grinding. The subconscious act of gritting one's teeth together while asleep, and gritting one's teeth together as a response to anger or frustration. Here we have an example of two. At roughly the same time, Minoru Minakawa was grinding his teeth while trying to keep his schedule. That's a weird jump. Okay, that's a weird segue to Minoru's story. Hitomi, he groaned when they slowed down to catch their breath at last. I'm so sorry. Hitomi was nonplussed. Sorry? Whatever for? I keep saying I'm gonna help you, but instead I just keep putting you in danger. Achi, no. If you hadn't been with me, I'm sure I'd already be No! Achi hurried to cut her off before she could finish. Don't go there, please! He sighed, then spoke again more quietly. I just want to help you. Clenching a fist, he looked up at the sky. A tiny sliver of blue was visible through the narrow gap between the buildings. Hitomi hung her head. Honestly, I can hardly believe how much you've done for me. I do appreciate it, but still. The lengths you've gone to. Achi looked at his feet, then drew himself up. Well, I admit it's not just because of some gut instinct or your love for the environment, he said. There's another reason I'm doing this. There is? Achi paused, searching for the right words. I've got a little sister. Her name's Suzune. She's cute and smart, kind of the exact opposite of me, you know? His voice took on an uncharacteristic solemnity. But she's got a weak heart, so she's in the hospital. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. But what does that have to do with wanting to help me? Back when Suzune was first admitted, I'd go and visit her every day. But she... Achi, you don't need to come visit me every day, you know. The quiet hospital room made Suzune's voice sound all the more frail. What are you talking about? Achi said. You know I'm worried about you. I'll be fine on my own, really. Achi had heard that line before. The more she insisted she was fine, the more reluctant he was to leave her. Besides, aren't you the amazing guy who helps hold Shibuya together? They need you out there. Achi didn't know how to respond to that. Much as it was flattering to think he played some important role, he was really just hanging out and goofing off with his pals. It certainly wasn't anything for his sister to be proud of. I'd rather you spent your energy helping people who need it more than me. What do you mean people who need help more? Who could possibly need help right now more than you? Achi scratched his head in confusion as his sister gave him a weak, tiny smile. You'll figure it out, she said. I'm sure they'll find you soon enough. But I'm going to be here with you. I'll be fine. Suzune's face was pale, but her tone was firm. My big brother is going to be out there doing his best to help people. That's what makes me happy. That's what keeps me going. Her voice was clear and unwavering, as if to head off his rebuttal. All right, Achi said with a reluctant sigh. So then I guess, I'll just go out there and help people who are in trouble? Satisfied, Suzune smiled. Thank you. And you can promise me one more thing, right? Of course. Anything you like. He thumped himself on the chest. If you're gonna help someone, make sure you see it all the way through to the end, okay? Okay. No calling it quits partway through, yeah? You got it. I just worry, Suzune said. I know you have a tendency to lose interest in things. Look, don't sweat it. I swear I won't give up on this. Achi stuck out his pinky finger. But I want you to promise me something in return. Promise me you won't let this thing beat you. If you recall, 9 months ago when we were last playing this game, he made a pinky swear with Hitomi, I'm pretty sure. Suzune hooked her little finger around her brother's, her sad smile fragile as glass. At least I'm pretty sure he did that. And so there you have it, Achi said. Kind of a rubbish story, I know, not very funny. So your sister's heart condition, it's pretty bad? Achi nodded. You know, she called me amazing. There's nothing amazing about me. Suzune, she's the amazing one. She's been in the hospital so long in so much pain, and she never complains. All I do is hang out and goof off with my friends. He gave a shrug. But I just kept thinking about how happy she'd be if I really did help people. If it had turned out that finding people in need hadn't been all that simple. When in doubt, pinky out. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for stopping by. The only helpful thing Achi had been able to think of was going around picking up trash. And that's why Suzune's idiot brother left SOS to be Shibuya's garbage man. Did your friends know, Hitomi asked, about your sister? I didn't tell them. I didn't want to pin this all on her being sick. Ah, I see. At least now Hitomi understood what the fight with the local toughs had been about. The sound of approaching footsteps jerked them back into the present. Come on! Oh my god! The man with the cane appeared at the end of the alley. He raised his gun. There was no time to flee. Achi quickly stepped in front of Hitomi. If you shoot us here, people are going to come running, he said. I'm guessing you don't want to get pegged for murder. The assassin didn't flinch. He was about to shoot you in the broad daylight in the middle of the street before. Stay out of my way, Achi. This time there was no doubt. The gunman had spoken Achi's name loud and clear. How do you know who I am? The man stared at him through the sights of his gun. She has to die, Achi. It's for your own good. What? What does he mean? Hitomi whispered. Achi, what is he talking about? Achi's mind was a whirl. Things were coming at him too fast for him to process. I don't know this guy. Hitomi, please, you have to believe me. But... Hitomi took a doubtful step away from Achi. The assassin didn't miss his opening. He quickly aimed at her. Cut the crap, man! What do you mean killing her is for my own good? Once she's dead, you'll understand. The gunman's finger tightened on the trigger. To be continued. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. What, did we go all the way through his story till 1 then? Oh my gosh, what's with these cliffhangers with him about to get shot every single time? Yeah, we went all the way down to 1 for